a light will shine a path for me to see. It was not darkness or the prophecy to keep, for the not to be prioritized, and not to find a schedule for the schedule of my priorities. Not to hide my feelings for the people that I care about, for the waiting too long to tell them that I might miss their chance. Beginning in love, and this is what it won't be. Choose for that to be perfectly and finding themselves for the resolution and never to twist their foot. Fit out of their own image when they think a lot. I think a lot. And maybe she was a strong girl for everything she knew, but make it through the worst and be the fearless one that I could dare to do anything that independent enough, and you could be the man. Be that girl. Never back down. It's not about finding yourself, but the creating. Wanting to be with you every day for one or I'm not one too much for the thought, for the everything I can find, for the sleepwalking, for the waking. World without that, for the end of the amen. Some of the warner about the knowing the fatal for the teleman. Love him, love her. What I really want and what she said. Deep down to find the stillness and safety. Feeling that you can always be there for the I love you and think I must love you without knowing it all my life, and I don't know most people for the anything. I don't owe people or know people anything, and I don't have anything to talk about for to tell them anymore than I feel that I need to. Most dangerous enough I can be sick enough for those who make it believe in who we are well and only well for the contraction. We've done all bad things, but it doesn't mean that we're all bad people. Something you find for the meaning, but maybe it was reciprocal, or it was a domino effect. But it's a domino. Self-love is only important. You can find yourself crying in the bathroom, or maybe it's that afternoon with picking yourself up to finding the strength to move on. After the end, for the end of the end, and the end of the day, for you all you got. Make no me for the for what you thought for that I'll be free. Tragedy is never the life of the end so soon, for the only the waiting there so long to begin in it. Effective enough for the action to quiet reflection. Find that quiet reflection to become even more effective for the action. I never want to feel like nobody ever cares, but how close do we are? Maybe they just need the distance for yourself and the people for the care, for the notice, and you don't know where you stand. Stand on the common ground for your own feet. Don't think I don't understand people very well. I know whether or not I like or dislike. Don't waste the rest of your time for the worrying about the other. Unless that affects the common good, for it will keep you for the doing anything useful, the only to be preoccupied for what you so we're doing yourself and the why, and what they're saying, and whether we're thinking or what you're what to, for the only the things that you can throw off and to keep your mind focused on your own. Do that what happens. What happens to when you hurt people? What happens when you hurt people? They begin to love you less. That's what you care less. Words do. Maybe you can care less than they do. Wing your eyeliner for the owner, the paint for the nails back for the chin up, and you got this on your own. Thinking it's only difficult enough for the why people can judge you on your own. You see this is truth, and maybe the people that seem to miss that for the happiness and don't start that for the only the college you find a degree. Degrees of the measurements in which you can find the heat every day. It was only that light you, only the serves and words and only the tongue for the pen to invite you. Status of these it is and never been. It was only the pen for the only to find the penitentiary to penetrate you, never giving up on someone you love, no only the fate. If you know what you love, it'll love it because it's you. It's harder to believe, and always the same person, and only existence be the brief crack of life in between that for the eternities of darkness. If you're hearing this, you deserve the life full of happiness and the positivity, so don't let the others get in between you. What you want to believe yourself. Demand that for the little, go get it. This is only the pain for the nothing else, and you can look at someone straight in the eyes and say, I believe in it. I see through it, and I made it for who I am today. Stop calling yourself a failure anyway. Planets and the stars in your eyes, and these are fires in the oceans and veins. Don't live your life in vain, for the head is the pores, and your heart is the metal for the you and work of art. For the art you with the work of art. You know what you round that for the every corner to be everything, for the ever could be anything, for the putting yourself at the foot from the other, for that you could be that for the only day you look back and climb that mountain. I'm absolutely persuaded about nothing in the universe, and I can feel that mine is only divine existence. Caught in between that for the distance and what I wish and not what I do know. Life is only not about finding yourself for the creating yourself. I can find that for the only the health, the thinking about the religions, the world, they're both truth, the harmful, the evidence for the matter, for the logic, for the this degree. It can be true enough that you can be me. Ask that for the favorite color, but you can find and describe it to it. I can want to be the favorite sound, and this is what I can explain to the voice, be the song for the never getting tired of. I can find a home and I'll tell it where it feels, and when there's arms and what they're making me happy, and enough that I can stop the smiling, and enough that you can find the love and say it in your own name. The opportunity's only difficult enough for the recognizing, and we only usually expect it for the beckoning and the beepers, so you can find a billboard for what you would find a sneaker. Sometimes, sneaking is sometimes in the night that wakes, in the middle of the night I can do nothing but become the moon. When you're mad at someone you love, be careful of what you say, because your mind gets angered enough for the heart still cares. You don't want to be mad at you, for everyone you meet is fighting the battle, for you know you nothing about. Be kind, always. This is what yourself is telling you. To remind yourself to keep your feet firmly on the planet, on the ground, for you can never be able to dance. Our attitude is towards that, for the under determination, for the attitude towards us.
shine a path.
That light will shine a path for me to see. It was not darkness or the prophecy to keep for the not to be prioritized and not to find a schedule for the schedule my priorities.
I rest my hands in the bind.
I rest my hands in a bind. I was binded to my hands, bound to show them that they are mine. It's in my hands, but I don't have time. Time shows me everything, but I don't have time to see. Although I'm a prophet, pursuing my prophecy, we are here to never let you go. We are here to be a collaboration. I don't have the patience to heal you. I'm not your doctor. I just want to remind you. I remember you. I don't want to keep reminding you. But here's a reminder. These are the places left inside of my heart, exposed and leaked into the ground, and find some common with you in the sound. And everything that I'm finding inside of the brain and mixed up, but it was a similarly something adjacent to we and not can contain. Once is always along the way for the solving that problem, but I also want to find the answer within me, the answer within you, the answer within us. I feel like I'm waiting for something that isn't going to happen, but these are words to find my happiness in the self is that ocean without the shore, for the gazing upon it has no beginning or the end, and the world is the next. Across that I can see for the ability, honestly, quietly, reflecting on one's life and most powerful tools for personal growth and neural attitude is only based off of how I treated her. Treat her right and she'll treat me better for the doing her worse and she'll do me worse. What happened to something more was reciprocal. It was too weak to give in and too strong to lose. And sometimes you're going to find that missing of the person. Maybe it was that missed and find the missing of the person who always wants me. Almost to you and feels sad enough because there has no name for the feeling, for the just the feeling, but then what you can make me feel for the tired enough and you have those bones. In the end we won't remember for the most beautiful face and body. If you can remember the most beautiful heart of the soul, power for the intruder, power for the intuitive, understanding will protect you from the harm until your ending of the days, and you have that power for the shape of your own destiny. You'll be amazed as far as you can see for the life demanded the skills and I didn't have, and I worked yourself and only the best thing I can do for the accepting what is not perfect for you are enough. Starting to work on everything that destroys me. Insecurities and the ego for the dark thoughts, and you will see for the end, and you're going to make the peace with yourself with the greatest thing in the world, and you are. Life is what you make it. Travel is what the traveler is, and what we see is what we see, what we are. If you're willing to look into that behavior towards that reflection instead of the relationship, and you can find a statement within your value of the person you will over the period of disease that the reaction of it all. Our lives are defined by the opportunity to even if we evolve in the one we miss. We also have that for the weakness. Have to work hard to defend it. You can't be lazy about it until we find what we're ready for the waiting before the rest of our lives and the paradox and wanting to be happy to think to the things that make you sad. Yet I'm ambitious, and myself and enough for the long, for the only description for the I can find what's indicative. Don't care and I really do. Crave the attention but the rejected when it comes my way, for the conflicted, for the contradiction. I can't figure out what myself and there's no one else to have. Take the chance and let's lie to them. Because honestly, no matter for the where you end up and what you can find with only the way you should be. Mistakes that make you for the who you are, for the learn and grow you which way you want, the choices you can make, and everything is worth it for the how you can feel. Be you. It's okay with it. I don't want to find that perhaps this love that comes from finding someone to feel utterly uncomfortable enough for someone to make me feel comfortable with yourself, and finding yourself is only defining the other part of your chapter and what you can find for the point for the only to having the voice if you're going to be ever after for the silence in the moments you shouldn't be. That was to be a fact. Or what's the fact for the fact for the here's a fact that you can find the one to really want to. Even if you want to find yourself on track that you can run over there and just sit. It happens to be the everyone that they grow up. Find out where you are and what you want, for the realizing that people only know you forever, but don't see the things in what you do. So keep yourself and the wonderful memories and find yourself. Moving on to be confident enough in you to be the kind. Fusing, you can be the not to be the kind man, for that you can be the exciting food for thought. Hold on, just so many wonderful things coming your way. Just keep your eyes on Yahweh, and you'll see the light.
I rest my hands in the Bible.
I rest my hands in the Bible. I rest my hands in the Bible.
I rest my hands in the bind.
I rest my hands in the bind. In the bind. I was binded to my hands, bound to show them that they are mine. It's in my hands, but I don't have time. Time shows me everything, but I don't have time to see. Although I'm a prophet, pursuing my prophecy, we are here to never let you go. We are here to be a collaboration. I don't have the patience to heal you. I'm not your doctor. I just want to remind you. I remember you. I don't want to keep reminding you. But here's a reminder. These are the places left inside of my heart, exposed and leaked into the ground, and find some common with you and the sound. And everything that I'm finding inside of the brain and mixed up, but it was a similarly something adjacent to we and not can contain. Once is always along the way for the solving that problem, but I also want to find the answer within me, the answer within you, the answer within us. I feel like I'm waiting for something that isn't going to happen, but these are words to find my happiness, and the self is that ocean without the shore, for the gazing upon it has no beginning or the end, and the world is the next. Across that for I can see for the ability, honestly, quietly, reflecting on one's life and most powerful tools for personal growth, and your attitude is only based off of how I treated her. Treat her right and she'll treat me better, for the doing her worse and she'll do me worse. What happened to something more was reciprocal. It was too weak to give in and too strong to lose, and sometimes you're going to find that missing of the person. Maybe it was that missing, find the missing of the person who always wants me, almost to you, and feel sad enough because there has no name for the feeling, for the just the feeling that what you make me feel, for the tired enough and you have those bones. In the end, we won't remember, for the most beautiful face and body. You can remember the most beautiful heart of the soul. Power for the intruder, power for the intuitive. Understanding will protect you from the harm and until your ending of the days. And you have that power for the shape of your own destiny. You'll be amazed as far as you can see, for the life demanded the skills and I didn't have. And I worked for myself, and only the best thing I can do for the accepting what is not perfect, but you are enough. Starting to work on everything that destroys me. Insecurities and the ego, for the dark thoughts, and you will see for the end you're going to make the peace with yourself, with the greatest thing of the world, and you are. Life is what you make it. Travel is what the traveler is, and what we see is what we see what we are. If you're willing to look into that behavior towards that reflection, the state of the relationship, and you can find a statement within your value of the person, you will over the period to see that for the reaction of it all. Our lives are defined by the opportunities to even if we evolve in the one we miss. We also have that for the weakness, have to work hard to defend it. You can't be lazy about it until we find what we're ready for, the waiting for the rest of our lives, and the paradox and wanting to be happy to think of the things that make you sad. Yet I'm ambitious, and myself and enough for the law, and for the only description for I can find what's indicative. Don't care, and I really do. Crave the attention, but the rejected when it comes my way, for the conflicted, for the contradiction that can't figure out with myself, and there's no one else to have. Take the chance and let's lie of them, because and honestly, no matter for the where you end up and what you can find with only the way you should be. Mistakes and make you for the who you are, for the learn and grow you, which way you want, the choices you can make, and everything is worth it for the how you can feel. Be you. It's okay with it. I don't want to find that perhaps this love that comes from the finding of someone for the feel utterly uncomfortable enough for the someone to make me feel comfortable with yourself, and finding yourself is only defining the other part of your chapter and what you find for the point for the only to having the voice if you're going to be ever after for the silence in the moments and you shouldn't be. That was to be a fact. Or what's the fact for the fact for the here's a fact for that you can find the ones who really want to. Even if you want to find yourself on track, you can run over there and just sit. It happens to be the everyone that they grow up. Find out where you are and what you want, for the realizing that people only know you forever, but don't see the things in what you do. So keep yourself and the wonderful memories and find yourself. Moving on to be confident enough and you to be the kind. fusing. You can be the not to be the calm man for the you can be the exciting food for thought. Hold on, just so many wonderful things coming your way. Just keep your eyes on Yahweh, and you'll see the light.
Eyes doors right into you, and I'll let you in. No need to ask, I wanna bask in your everything. My chest exploding, my mind eroding at the thought of you existing. Carved from the same dream, made of the same stuff I couldn't even blow. No flirting, no skirting on the edge. You were one with me already. All you had to do was see me, really see me. Recognize the workings of my mind, and then touch me like something holy, and then touch me like something that is not but could never be. As you take a ride another light in me, all of my senses are screaming at me. My body won't become of tingling. Imagine me naked in front of me. Nothing to hide, just someone to hold, and then we let go. 'Cause we always let go. All you had to do was see me, really see me.
You yet.
Recognize the workings of my mind, and then touch me like something holy, and then touch me like something
you yet long.
like something